what I do is I will begin with a little bit of history about the major education policy. Secondly, I will highlight the main reasons why we are in need of a new education policy. Thirdly, I will talk about the major recommendations and explain the new structure of education policy proposed by the new Education Policy 2020. Fourthly, I will bring out the main points or the hot topics of the NEP 2020. And lastly and most importantly, from all of these insights, I will come to the implications of the policy that have a direct impact on tribes.
Mayam po Ranjitiki welcome tawre. Aduga ngasigi si ihan hanbada isor thaga thagat pagaloy na akhoi ki irakta always enthusiastic oiba akhoi bu encourage tawbiba ukim kimnei selbena leivon mahak na akhoi mayam ki damakta akhoi society amagi pillar ki ne khan bagaloy na aduga mayam si ko sigi sida initiative kana lawbiye duna nasigi numit asisu mahak na akhoi mayam bu thogat biga bagaloy na si program si organize tawdarak bane
ngasi akhoi na Madam Kim na sigumba, and in fact she has come up with a very important theme, a major change that is expected to come. Especially research forum jina masigi document je khang dardi hayeng ekoi gi angang koi youth koi se karamai ekoi guidance people ngadra haidana masi bane pasu pare issue aduga. Of course I have also attended many seminars, but anyway they have made a plan, but 2040-50 that the eventually slowly hujik ekoi gi system hujik library system se moina change totally tarakane, target oriented, class wise, degree wise, subjects wise, discipline, language silaidana, content wise mase clear, stage wise, class 11 12 BA MA MPhil PE clear tawdana which actually academic education below bani. Adu akhoi Indian context the masigi system moina hujik moina tawliba system British time na makulak kaiba policy moina tawramba adu British adu gidi adu mayam very much we are actually colonial system like lakpa education system although it has such a big massive changes has come because of education.
National Education Policy 2020 gise yamna centralization oira kadauba ama phibam dalai aduna
yes
ora ekhoi na hujik private school sing run toba aduga ama toba ekhoi gi state base oina ekhoi isa context toba se khara makhoi na itang subside tora kadau basumale aduna ngasa ojana haibagumna ojar khubna haibagumna there is going to be a great change in our education policy. Maru aina school khuding se school khuding aduga state khuding se Hindi maron khangdaba yade haibagi adumba reinforcement haisara adumba matora kadau male adu darkar su oi amarom da or akal lagadi isa gi northeast context, Manipur context, tribal context e mahoina kitang cover toraga Indianized tora kadau do adu gumba layer kadau do khradi mami uye aina khalle
coding say at the very early age the hapchalak se to me I think this is one very good India ki education system na mase aphaba khongthang oibra hina khale angang sing the early stage the moigi masiki knowledge ama insert to bi base adu akhoi di hojik net exam thab kan da masi se hangjalak pasita pura ngawe haba han orakwan da tambanina aduna I think this is very good aduga amana hojiki oja oige haragati intensive 4-year course halakpagum base I think it's a very good step ko bi hojiki akhoi ki BEd masigi teachers trainings the 4 years ki then like credit system halakpa anduga in and out anytime break lawba ba then amuk halakpa ba graduation so there are a lot of good opportunities given in this I chuga aina di haiba ngamdre adubu masigi mayam se definitely I think it's like potential laiba ngang na gap khara launinga su amuk mana tawningimba do amuk laaga muk tawba adumba chances mayam pi base yamna mak phabra haina khale aduna masina ngasai ojana aigidi oja aigidi mitna uba laini ado ojana takpi khiba dumaina masi khunda takpi ga dawba khanghang tawba se akoina yam phajna mamut ta na khangdabnina masi mayam se mamut ta na siki resource person na ikai khuna jari bi mem na phajna sugai na takpi ragadi hen na nungai gani aduga akoina knowledge little knowledge is dangerous haibugumna ngasi akoina aina knowledge se mayam gain ta horga then aigi society da community da neighboring areas sing sida share taw ngamagadi masigi yaubagi khwai degi kanabado oigni haina sumain thamjage. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Indian leaders have always considered education as the most fundamental element for the development and progress of the society, and also for building a prosperous nation. The nation's commitment to making quality education accessible to all is founded on the constitutional principle of social justice, equality, equity, from the very inception of our country in 1947, as expressed under Article 45 of the Constitution, catering to free and compulsory education for children of 6 to 14 years in the initial years. This was followed by National Education Policy 1968, which focused on scientific education with a view to build the human resource of the country. The policy was further upgraded through the new Education Policy 1986 and the Plan of Action 1992, which laid out 10 plus 2 plus 3 system of education, which we are following now, and sanctioned 6% of the country's GDP for education sector with the intent to provide universal education. The national commitment was further strengthened and became specific in 2002 with the accreditation of free and compulsory education for all children, fundamental right under Article 21A and enactment of Right to Education Act 2009. Now, after the passing of all these series of constitutions, this is the third major national education policy that has been approved by the Union Cabinet. In spite of all this, or with all of these major policies and laws or amendment in the past, why do we still need this? Even after almost 75 years of its independence now, India's commitment to education is still a matter of great concern because there are persisting issues such as lack of quality full access, enrollment, high dropout rates, low literacy rates, gender inequality, low performances, more so for children belonging to the rural areas and poor sections of society, plus poor governance of all times. In fact, an important an attempt to since the year 1980s has further raised the question of accessibility in terms of affordability. So to respond to all these issues that I have just mentioned, the government formed a committee headed by Dr. K. Kasturirangam in 2017 to make a draft of the new education policy. The policy was finally approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29th July 2020. What are the major recommendations of this NEP 2020 for the 21st century India? The policy document is majorly arranged into three themes, namely the school education system, the higher education system, and education governance system. In general, the ministry has been created to replace the existing Ministry of Human Resource Development to oversee the whole education system. This is one big change. The MHRD has been replaced by Ministry of Education. That is the thing. And coming to the education pattern, the academic structure of the school education has been changed from the earlier 10 plus 2 pattern to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. The breakup of which is 5 years foundational education, 3 years each of preparatory education and middle school education, and 4 years secondary education. The 5 years foundational education stage, covering children in the age group of 3 to 8 years, is divided into 3 years of early childhood care and education, and 2 years of primary education, that is classes 1 and 2. Which means 5 years of schooling, of foundation schooling has been broken up into 3 years of preschool stage and 2 years of primary school. The overall aim of clubbing ECCE, or early childhood care and education, to the formal education system is to ensure the children's good health and nutrition with proper monitoring, to inculcate good values and teach them basic skills, etc. 4. The overall physical, cognitive, social, emotional, ethical, psychomotor skill, communication skill development, along with foundational language, literacy, and numeracy through various activities and practices. Then the 3 years of preparatory education stage covers children of 8 to 11 years studying grades 3, 4, and 5. The curriculum and pedagogy continue to focus on experiential learning, which is very much focused in this NEP 2020, on the foundational stage through different activities and classroom interactions, with a view to lay a strong foundation across different subjects, including reading, writing, speaking, and physical education. The 3 years middle school education covers children in age group 11 to 14 years, studying grade 6, 7, and 8, with the introduction of specialized subjects, which is built on the curriculum and pedagogy of the preparatory stage. Learning at this stage becomes more subject-oriented in order to make them clear about the subjects they would be liking to study in the secondary stage. And the secondary stage covers the students in the age group 14 to 18 years, studying grades 9 and 10, 11, and 12. At this stage, there will be 4 years of multidisciplinary study, and the students are free to combine subjects of their choices. This stage is further subdivided into 2 stages, that is 9 and 10 grades in the first stage, and 11 and 12 grades in the second stage. The course at this stage of education is built on the subject-based pedagogy and curriculum of the middle stage, but with more depth, greater critical thinking, and the life aspirations of the students. In particular, at this stage, one change that has come here under this new education policy is that the students are given the flexibility or the freedom to exit after grade 10 and re-enter in the next stage, that is at any stage or of 11 or 12 class, to pursue any subject of their choice, or even vocational line of subjects they are free to take when they rejoin. Suppose a student leaves in class 10 and wants to come back. At the time when he comes back, he can take any, he or she doesn't have to continue with the same subject combinations or things like that, but he can choose his choice, and vocational education is equally open to that choice. Overall, the policy aims to bring holistic development of the learners through reduced curriculum, flexible course combination, multidisciplinary learning, including arts, craft, and sports, and increased hands-on or practical learning. It is basically attempts to do away with rote memory learning and adopt real learning through experiential, contextual mother tongue or home language, and emphasize developing social capacities, that is the child's ability to do social service, either through simple social gatherings or by organizing social programs, no? And based on his ability to participate in community development works. Inculcate sensitivity, good behavior, courtesy, ethics, cleanliness, teamwork, etc. in the child. Vocationalization of education is also highly emphasized, and it is allowed as early as the 6th grade with 10 days internships in an academic year and throughout the higher education. With the focus on mother tongue till class 5, the policy adopts multilingual approach under 3-language formula. The provision of free and compulsory education has been extended to cater children from 3 to 18 years studying preschool to higher secondary education, that is till class 12. The later part of the secondary education means in the for now we are the Constitution has provided free and compulsory education to only children from classes 1 to 8 up to the elementary education. No, children, that is children from 6 to 14 years. But now this provision has been extended to right from preschool education to higher education. Then the policy also aims to develop multiple public schools into a school complex, which will consist of one secondary school that will cater to 9 to 12 grades and all its neighborhood public schools offering pre-primary to class 8, Anganwadis, vocational education and adult education facilities. Please note this point is very important. Teachers will be deployed in this school complex for at least 5 to 7 years in such school complexes, meaning mo is a transfer gumbase kaya taura roy. At least if a teacher will be appointed for at least 5 to 7 years in that school. So that this is done basically to strengthen the learning understanding, getting to know each other, the learning compatibility between the child and the teacher, which has been lacking in the present system so far. So that is the thing, the main thing regarding the change that has been drastically. Later on, we will come to that because it also concerns our context. So we will come to that. Now, at the higher education level, there will be 3 types of universities, each engaging in teaching, research, and degree courses respectively. At the graduate level, colleges will offer 4 years multidisciplinary program with multiple exit options with the flexibility of awarding various degrees, that is a certificate on the completion of 1 year of study, a diploma on completing 2 years of study, a bachelor's degree on completion of 3 years, a 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's degree will also be awarded for those who complete that whole 4 years. That is the desired degree. And a degree with research will also be awarded if a student completes research project as a part of his or her major subject. At the postgraduate level, higher education institutions will offer master's programs of, number 1, 2 years with the second year focusing on research. And only those who have completed the 3-year bachelor's program, bachelor's degree will be eligible for this course. And secondly, 1 year for students who have completed a 4-year bachelor's program with research will also be provided. And thirdly, one can also take integrated 5-year bachelor's or master's program. Meaning in these 5 years, there will be a breakup of bachelor plus master's. That option is also available for college students. Then for PhD, either a master's degree or a 4-year bachelor's degree with research becomes the eligibility criteria under this policy. MPhil programs has been discontinued. Coming to the governance, under the Ministry of Education, the Higher Education Commission of India with its 4 departments with various roles, namely National Higher Education Regulatory Council, the National Accredited Council, Higher Education Grants Council, and General Education Council or GEC will act as the single regulatory body for the entire higher education system, excluding law and medicine. Meaning, under the Ministry of Education, Higher Education Commission of India or HECI High Body Asina, law in a higher education se mana yang salani mana yang kita bisa kriteria hari di this 4 departments according to their own roles. Each department will see number 1 regulation for higher education, including teachers education also, and accreditation, funding for all the colleges and universities, and also it will also set standards for the learning outcomes of higher education. It will set the standards of it will make a benchmark to follow regarding the outcome of assessments in the higher education. Then the National Council for Teacher Education, UGC, and All India Council for Technical Education, all this will no longer exist under this NEP. Regarding the assessment at the school level, the National Assessment Center known as PARAK, which stands for Performance Assessment, Review, Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development, will function as a standard setting body for setting norms, the standards and guidelines for students' assessment, evaluation patterns, and learning outcomes. And also, it will give advice on the latest researches for all the recognized school boards in India towards meeting the skill requirements of the 21st century according to the objectives of the policy. For university entrance exams, the National Testing Agency, which is an autonomous and expert body, will conduct common aptitude tests as well as specialized common subject exams across sciences, humanities, languages, arts, and vocational subjects for 2 times at least in a year. As a step towards doing away with coaching and certificate-driven assessment, which is the case of now, and meaningful experiential learning and skill building of students, these exams will assess not so much to be based on certification and their rote memory skills. It will assess the core capacities and competencies, that is the skills and abilities of the child in the real sense, in the subjects they choose for taking for the entrance test. Meaning they can take any subjects they want, they can choose what subjects they want to choose, they would like to be assessed for. So they have the freedom to choose in which subject they want to appear the exam for these core capacities and competencies assessment at this stage. The National Testing Agency Center will also conduct entrance exams for the undergraduate and graduate admissions and fellowships in higher education institutions. But they are also, these colleges which will come under the centralized examination of this NTA, National Testing Agency, they will be given the assessment and the results, but it is up to the individual colleges whether they would stick to that result or not. So they are given that freedom. Along with this, Fees will also be fixed for both the private and public universities. India is now open to foreign universities. It also aims at granting university autonomy, phasing out affiliations in the next 15 years, high digitization, as Bosco has mentioned, through online learning, online apps, coding, this and that, right from the preschool to the higher education, and learning through open learning in higher education. This is done, it has been thought of with a view to give education. This is with a view to make education accessible to all sections of the people. Education sa mo na spread tong nga gidamak the open learning, different kinds of, this platform of learning they are opening. That is the plan. Some will be through digitization option is there, open learning from home, distance learning, autonomy of the colleges. All these things are given for maximum accessibility of enrollment and education of the children. Also, another thing is that major focus is also made on professionalization of teachers in terms of recruitment and teaching, and also the principles of schools and colleges in terms of leadership and management, and the training of both the teachers and the principals is emphasized. By 2030, the 4 years integrated B.Ed and 2 years B.Ed. There are two types of B.Ed here. One will be 4 years integrated B.Ed, and there is also another option of 2 years B.Ed that is available only for those who have done that bachelor's degree, which I have pointed out according to the new pattern to be offered by the multidisciplinary institutions. So one will be for integrated 4 years B.Ed degree, and another will be 2 years B.Ed degree for exceptional students according to the eligibility. All these both B.Ed degree courses will be mandated for the minimum qualification for anybody to become a teacher. So that is the change that is coming. Now the implications, policy recommendations, people are interpreting from their own philosophical stance, from their own social stance, from their own context, their perspectives. Some are from feminist point of view, some are from village point of view like us, some are from Dalit point of view, some are from tribes, some are from academic side, critiquing the man, the mastermind who is a ISRO space scientist. So all these things I have clubbed together of people's interpretations of what the implications and concerns are through this NEP 2020. So now bringing early childhood care and education into the regarding this into the formal education system, which is the main thrust, one of the main thrusts of this NEP 2020. One thing I want to make it clear is that what was not included now is this part. Okay, the drastic change is inclusion of this 0 to 6 years of children into the formal education system, which is very good. But one thing that we should know is that bringing early childhood care and education or preschool education system, which has been away, which has not been covered so far, into the formal system education is a huge task. The action plan to do this has not been outlined well. How, for example, how the Anganwadi workers, the para teachers, that is the alternative teachers, recruited by giving some 2,500 to 3,000 rupees incentives, teacher hai ka pang sika appointed to hai ka para teachers hai ka, and untrained Shiksha Mitras or the classmates, the learning from batchmates, na all these things they have recommended, emphasized. So how are these untrained Shiksha Mitras going to teach the students, the children, is very, very questionable. Then regarding the impressive effort towards making a shift from rote learning to experiential learning, which is also a very, very much the core foundation of this NEP, besides the clubbing of ECCE into the formal education system. This rote memory learning, the shifting, making a shift from the rote memory learning to experiential learning is also one of the very, very important core foundation of this NEP. Regarding this, I would like to point out, as a person myself coming from the education subject background, that combating rote memory learning has been considered the most challenging task in education of all times. Means we have always been told that rote memory learning is bad, trauma. Especially in education, they have always taught us that way. So it has been the most challenging task in education of all times, and to put an end to this culture, means rote learning culture in our education system, is one of the major reasons, as I have mentioned, why NEP 2020 is emphasizing so much on learning through activities right from the kindergarten through all the stages of education. But if you really think, you will find that there are so many things that we actually learn through rote memory, such as poem or Bible recitations, speech, giving speech itself, and even the constitutional article numbers. We try to remember them through memorization. I hope nobody can deny that. Also, do you think the tribal children of Manipur, for instance, can learn their lessons in English or Hindi or Meiteilon without memorization? So can we really do without rote learning? Is a matter of, you think about that. I personally feel that for holistic learning, we need both rote memory and practical learning experiences in balance. The policy mentions about classroom discussion oriented pedagogy in the preparatory stage, as I have mentioned before, but the process of implementation has not been spelled out. Akina Atika, classroom discussions, introduction of textbooks will be there, and there will be a lot of to shift from this rote memory learning. Besides vocationalization of education, there will be also a lot of interaction between the teachers and the students, and one-on-one interactions, peer group interactions. All these things will be there. It is said, but how this is going to be implemented has not been spelled out. Then regarding I have also mentioned that in Indian education is now open to foreign universities. So it is basically into internalizing education. So regarding this internationalization of education at home, by inviting those among 100 top universities of the world to open their campuses in India, it is feared that, listen carefully, the entry of such universities from across the globe will only be like big companies coming to India sometime back with the neoliberal mindset, sometime back through General Agreement on Trade in Services or GATS. And it will only lead to maximum privatization. Also, private philanthropic efforts, meaning private companies trying to work for public cause through education, healthcare, etc. All these kind of philanthropic efforts, which is very, very much welcome under this NEP, will only, people believe, to high commercialization of education. What type of learning and other cultures those experts from other universities will bring is also a matter of concern. Now, education has been internationalized, so foreign universities will be allowed to open here, where both the Indian and foreign students can study together. No, and then Indian students can also go to foreign countries to study for higher education, and here itself also they can study. So that is the NEP is terming as internationalization of education at home. But the critics and also the academicians, some academicians are also of the opinion that it will be only be something like companies coming in huge numbers in India for commercial to make money, and it will only be the same with this internationalization of education. It is likely to turn out that way also. So this also needs to be thought of. Then it also aims to centralize examinations through Parak and the national testing that I said. Regarding this, it is good that we analyze whether it will really help or not. This centralization of education through, from school through college, through Parak in the school education system, and the NTA at the higher education level. Whether the national National Education Policy 2020 will really succeed in achieving what it is striving for. For example, at the school level, the concern is that will the centralized board exams, if conducted without any breakup of marks for internal assessment by their own school teachers, who knows the students' competencies and capabilities very well, be fair enough to assess the students' real strengths? To me, such one-time exam performances and evaluations does not seem to guarantee the overall quality learning outcomes of the students. However, the reduction of exams only to classes 3, 5, and 8 is a good step. Means like here, under the new education system, exams will be reduced. In the existing system, what do? Is every year we give every academic year, the students are giving exams at the end of the year, isn't it? That will be scrapped now, and it will be reduced to only exams will be done only at class 3, class 5, and class 8, but it will be in a very centralized manner. This Parak, personal assessment review, and that thing, it will assess the whole performances of school boards will be assessed under this umbrella, under this examination umbrella at the school level and National Testing Agency at the higher education level. Now, there is also another thing that has been brought by the National Education Policy, that is Academic Bank of Credit. It recommended that the academic credits a student earned from different higher education institutions. Remember, there is a provision for multiple exit and entry now. So that is going to happen through this Academic Bank of Credit. This Academic Bank of Credit has a great role to play to make that a success. So the credits that each student has earned from different higher education institutions will be stored in the digital Academic Bank of Credit to be counted to decide what degree at the end this particular student has earned. In this case, what I don't really understand is that practically, suppose if I study a degree course in Manipur University and opt to shift into Tata Institute of Social Sciences the next year or in the next phase or in between the years, because it is going to be 4 years degree, right? So in between any of these years, if I wanted to shift at the first year, second year, or in between the years, which university is going to award me the certificate or diploma or degree that I have earned according to my credit score? So how this is going to happen is not clear. As far as I'm concerned, nothing clear has been mentioned about this. Then it is also the Mayam Nahainari Base people's concern. Professors, people, academicians who are working in the universities, they are saying that many students drop out due to mental health issues. especially those professors working in the mental health lines. They are saying that many students hiwa hai jo ka tamlang jo amani city issue sai ka changsi. I don't think I need to hiwa hi khang raya lam katia kamandan kay tamandan na chu. So hina te the jo discontinuing degrees like MPhil in clinical psychology, where the scholars learn hands-on problems in the hospitals to understand the mental health issues, which also helps them a lot to overcome all these kinds of confusions, depression, hopelessness in their studies, and all, is a big come down. Means the scrapping of this MPhil degree under the new education policy has lost its way in this line. That is the view of especially those people working in the field of psychology, in the field of behavioral studies. Plus, you need one foundational course to do a research. To do a research, a student needs one foundational course, the basic course, so that to come up to process the research work. So the possibility to learn so many courses, but how is there the possibility to learn so many courses within a short time? This is some are of the view that this is quite doubtful. Meaning, in a short time, so many certificates you will earn, different types of certificates according to your credits. So, while that may serve some purpose, it is also a concern that the strong foundation that you need to have to go further in research and education line may be barred by this method. NEP 2020, in spite of talking about commitment to making India a global knowledge superpower, is silent about the issues of sexual abuses, LGBTQ gender, sexuality in schools and orphanages, and using of unfair means in exams, which is very, very common. Come and point out and take on. These are not my views much, but this is it's a mixed actually. So some are my analysis and some are also from people's analysis, people from different contexts and disciplines. So they are saying that even that is one point coming from different fields of study and concerns. Another one is that the people who are working in the education of children with learning disabilities are also not happy on the grounds that the provisions of the policy for the special education of such students are not clear. Plus, if you read the NEP, it is even the disability which is loina adum pulak hap labne children with disability, learning disabilities. So all those things, people working in that area, they are not happy. Sab mana na hojik ki angang singduga akoi gi kari normal school gi angang singduga moi se pulak lai min na hange tawba adugumba se moi na yaning de NEP na club together tawba se. These things are also one of the moi na yaning da ba. Madam di moi gi facility, their needs are different. Even the speed, the style. For example, the blind will need braille, gumba, large print text. Si gumba se haye dubu moi na mapungpana kay that separating line no for the children with learning disabilities and the normal children has not been in a clear way, so people are not happy. Some have also rightly pointed out that except the Kothari Commission, No policy mentions why girl education is still a challenge even today. Also, the appointment of contract teachers that started 20 years ago is still continuing and a matter of great, great concern. And academician na high academician mayam sing sina critic tauba that Kasturi Rangan, being a space scientist and not an academician, the recommendations are based on literature reading of American model of large individual universities not suitable for affiliated universities in India. Haibadi aikoi di affiliated institutions say yam to na college, and then the Chao University as an individual institute they exist na in contrast to what we are practicing in India. So they are critiquing that. The basis of this commission is with little materials that they have without studying the system and the ground realities. Hai na mo criticize to ba. The implications specific to tribes or Komram people. 1. Building school complex or cluster in special education zones. Sige matang sida. Padzana tasi. It is recommended that geographical areas with huge population of socio-economically disadvantaged groups, in which tribal communities are also included, and aspirational districts or backward districts. This aspirational district is according to what has been identified by Niti Aayog in some states. I think it is not applicable to Manipur. So these two types of groups which require special interventions for promoting their educational development will be declared special education zones in this identified special education zones or SEDGs or socio-economically disadvantaged group areas across India besides besides pasigi areas in sida. Besides opening new Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas and Kendriya Vidyalayas across India, school complexes having high quality infrastructural and academic facilities will be established at 5 to 10 kilometers distance, which will cater to children from preschool to higher education with special emphasis on girl education for maximum implementation of all the schemes and policies. School mayam se secondary school class preschool dagi secondary school pau base complex amoina chaw na sarage haibne haina plan se leire asigi saga to basi se kram hain to rakto bradi higher education secondary education ama sarani aduga lairiba neighboring schools mayam se punchal laga neighboring villages mayam gi angang si se pulak na pun halaga. It is like amalgamation of schools na, they will amalgamate all together in a cluster, and then asida mayam sila halaga tawning ay se mo se plan laye, and this is for maximum implementation of all these schemes by the government of India for this group of people. Aduna asi tawgani haina kanna asisu. This is also one of the biggest thrust concern of this national education policy, and this is also a point, a change, a policy that matters to tribal people like us and in our context. Any Manipura kom tribe ay siyam amaru kacang pen inkerke kabyara hina tekto kina I have forgotten to mention Anganwadi sula ani Anganwadi la ani preschool balavika loy na makoy gi teacher sing sula arga sita pula na complex ama hai ba di am nungay na hai ba sarani aduna, but khara ekhoy gi damak ta di complexity se lai ba kari how now in this context, if you think about the feasibility of this policy idea in our context where there is a strong element of maintaining ethnicity boundaries and identity concerns between tribes or even between villages within the same tribe existing as independent entities in itself, it may not. For example, if such a school complex or cluster is to be established in a special education zone area like Hautak village, Aina Laksariba Khunse, the village area that I come from, and no, I'm taking that example because I know that village area where the surrounding 4 or 5 villages are inhabited by the Kukis and the Rongmais besides the Koms in their own ambits. It is very clear that the Kom children will not want to go there for schooling and vice versa. Kom children koy na kabui khunda chaning laroy aduga Kuki koy na su Kom gida langning oy. So these things are akoy reality ne se. So it may not work. It may work around the Sagang area where there are the tribes are only Kom staying residing in villages close by to each other. That I don't know. So you have to think about it. But even then also, I feel that issues like in which village the school will be open. Will the parents want to send their words to the school in another village? I believe will still be there. Hi, Betty. I Manipur city karam hai to bradi tribe amaga akoy mix tawning daba ethnicity Kuki ga naga bukaram hai na kuldo pulo her ga yara kedra, and then even Komasen da su koirenta ki angang do hautak ta school ka bala o hai base yaroy hautak ki angang na su kairap chatlo hai bado yaroy thap su thape. There are so many things. I will continue with that. So regarding acknowledging the reality of all these things, our context, our difficulties, the council schools that we have now, council schools are so important for us. However, this can be a threat to close down the existing council schools in our villages. The only place where education of our children is possible in their own environment and context. Hi, Bati. Wasagi pre-primary dagi elementary school mayam class 1 to 8 offer to school mayam singdo punshil lase school complex to the high ravanena. Akhoi gi laizari ba school singse thingkro haina du daloina club to rase cluster ola se haibgi chan samasu lai. It is not mentioned there in the NEP, but this is the fear that is coming from the story. Besides, commuting to school or institutions which is 5 to 10 kilometers is quite very far in the village context in terms of safety, crossing forests, rough road, isolated road, bridge, etc. Under which umbrella these school complexes in special education zones is going to be managed is also not clear. Kanana yeng sen gedra, kanagi makhada exist together, kanana manage togani, how they are going. These schools are this school complex, which is going to have different departments. Vocational education, disability, Anganwadi, all these things are going to exist in one complex. So who is going to manage this? How is it going to be possible? This, and regarding the multiple exit and entry system, the multiple exit and entry may serve the children of seasonal migrant workers who often shift their locations for livelihood in other states but not in Manipur. So it may not suit the formal education system. Multiple exit and entry may be useful for the migrant workers' children who often had to stop their school in between because they want to go to other places in search of livelihood, not to earn their living. Later angang sing mama mapasing ko chat pasing do migrate to ba 6 months na muk chat pa mu halak pa thabak thi pa chani ngai thangai ko dugum pasing di helpful oirak pa jai adubu amuk tok pa it is likely to affect the formal education system. Anyways, that let's not think too much about that because I don't think akoy Manipur dati sigumba city kaya lay tabra hay nakhale horen lay rasunoy hay biro. Then regarding vocationalization of education, this is masi mi mayam dagi respond ekhoi gi context la re. The new platform of learning through internship from class 6 may be a good step, but what type of skills are the tribal children going to learn? Agriculture, tamgera, carpentry, tamgera, basket or cloth weaving that they have grown up doing their whole life? Or how will they learn? Are they going to the big industries in towns and other states to learn? Or will the students from the big towns and cities come to stay and learn anything from the villages? City the labor angang to the moina highway city villages, people will go to big companies and learn. They will be trained in either in vocational courses from their own context, or even if they want to learn from outside also, they will be sent. In that case, there will be exchange of learning, village to town, town to village. So that is the main idea. But kari tamgera, kari tamhangera, karamba togera, ekoi the kari, ekoi angang sing the kari kana balakera, or city gimi sing duna de, will they want to come and learn agriculture? So how it is going to function, these things are going to work, is also a matter of concern for us. And vocationalization of education under this policy is also being critiqued by caste-based societies. It is not for us, but I have put it so that we know from different angles, which are deprived of human dignity of labor, saying that it will only widen the dividing line between upper caste and lower caste. For example, under the caste system, in which social classes or sections or communities are divided according to the occupation, as the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, and the Shudras, according to Thabak Matung in Moidi kind of nena, wherein a Brahmin is allowed to do any of the occupations in emergencies except what the Sudras, that is the people belonging to the lowest caste who are in the working class, do. Moy na to Brahmin ko na Sudra na to loy na mag thabak mayam si to bayay except Sudra makoy gi caste system atungin na di why digi tonjaba moy di yum shit ka daba kon pheng ka daba wai tai ka daba asigumba gi thabak ne hay na moy di khai na raga Brahmin sina atay gidi to bayay adu Sudra gidi to bayaroi hay na asigumba thabak na khaidok pa asigum laba society gi damak tadi masi dividing line se hen na widen oihan gani ay na moina opine tawe. People from such community known as Dalits ko moy sing se, they are of the viewpoint that though vocation is associated with job, it will neither bring job nor guarantee job. For example, do the waste workers want to do the job they are doing? Dustbin collectors sing se moy tawning laga tawbra akoi gi city context tadi, or are they just doing it because they don't have a choice like tabagi tawbra natraga moy na thabak se amot akai hundok se moy tawning laga tawbra natraga choice like tabagira asi se. We can also relate it to our own context, like we the Rem people amag ta khalo akoi khunda, for example hosi kan se kan maitan se yam tawe ai khoi khun ai na have se ai gi khunda ai gi nupa gi khun si ti kaya khang dar ni na ai gi khun se example phasa da khang la hosi moi se maitan mere entero ka adu tawraga moi se living on tawraga le. Of course, some have shifted slightly into driving rickshaws, auto rickshaw and all. But how the country adu do maitan do da lagraga mo si sen antawe. Asiste, do they want to do that, or is it because they don't have a choice? So many choice. These are a matter of concern. In this line of thinking, vocational education is important for its own sake. For life skills. Life skills for example, fixing the tap during a pandemic due to fear of plumbers entering home. Plumber ko the bida na sana tak tawraga mila handa ni ay na khara basic skills of fixing taps instead of calling plumber in the bathroom or things like that. Isa na to zaba skill adugi damag tadi means vocation na masi tamnuba kanda, it may serve for your own personal purpose. I mean, nangi yung kay everyday ki purpose of ni, but there is no guarantee that it will give you a job. That is their stand. So another point is also that Gandhi's critics opine that vocational education is not going to be what it made out to be, but it is going to reinforce hierarchy. For example, those opting for vocational courses will end up doing less lucrative jobs like computer engineering. So for the tribes, multi-level learning and certification under vocationalization of education and multiple exit and entry system may serve some purpose. Masise kanahan se hairadi, the government should do justice for the underrepresented communities or the tribal groups, ST, SC, OBC and all, by revamping the eligibility criteria of job recruitments. Otherwise, degree holders will always be preferred from certificate or diploma holders while competing for jobs in future. Thabak recruitment se kaino moy tawba taba. Change tawba taba. Eligibility criteria se. Those certificates that they are issuing us through multiple exit and entry, it has to be validated for our good purpose. Tribal. So regarding practice of multilingual education, the policy emphasizes the use of mother tongue or the home language along with English and Hindi. In the valley area where Meitei is a common language, there is no problem. Context, Manipur context. But for the tribal communities where language is so diverse and contested, it would be very difficult to finalize which language is a home language or a local language to be used for the school education. Or is there any chance that a Meitei teacher transferred in Kairap, Bungte Chiru or Chingnunghut Aimol village teach in Kom, Chiru or Aimol language? Akoy gi valley the lakpa Meitei duna tribal any of these tribal loans that angang sing tak ne si possible oibra. Akoy any pina emphasize story bese oy thok te hai ba ko aduna akoy di tribe se yam banena. Also, the promise that textbooks including science subject galoinana to be made available in the home languages or mother tongue is very, very doubtful to me. All I can say is that only time will tell. Taking note of all these criticisms, applauses, and debates, the National Education Policy 2020 is all set for the implementation of its recommendations to begin very shortly with the drafting of National Curriculum Framework 2021, raising the investment for education from 4.43% to 6% of the GDP at the earliest time, offering vocational education to 50% of students from the school and higher education system, increasing gross enrollment ratio from 26.3% to 50% by 2035, adding 3.5 crores of new seats for higher education, etc., and to implement the whole policy recommendations by 2040. However, the success of the policy will depend on how far it responds to the ground reality, rural, tribal, and Dalit reality. Given this reality, policy needs to be interpreted and contextualized to suit the needs of the scheduled tribes, scheduled castes, the poor, the women, persons with disability. Towards this, building a context-specific perspective on education, government's commitment, financial allocation, and building of manpower become important components of building an efficient and effective education system. A system where the governance process will be marked by transparency and accountability, participation, and people's ownership. In such a backdrop, the reality presented by the study reports about the concrete conditions of schools for the disadvantaged children, like the tribal children in the rural and backward regions, should inform the proposed new education policy 2020, so that education for every child comes as a matter of right for the scheduled tribes, scheduled castes, and weaker sections of the society, the Constitution empowers the state to create special provisions under Article 15.4. The special provisions include reservation of seats in the universities, scholarships, residential schools, hostels, and providing free uniforms and other study and learning materials, etc. Response of the scheduled tribes and scheduled castes communities to these programs is a matter of great importance. For the success of these programs, a positive response is a must from them. All we have to do is wait and watch. Thank you all. Sengkan Chairang Do.
So I think for a country like India, it is not suitable. But let's watch and see. As Ukim had explained to us, it is very clear that it is going to really affect us from our local point of view. And especially when she talked about clubbing together all the area school together. Forget about constructing. Without constructing, what kind of communication do we have? By road, how many hours it takes? Even auto, we don't have some villages are not connected with a motorable road with auto. Auto is the one of the minimum fastest transportation we use in our areas. But we have so many villages which cannot be connected by the auto. So it is not going to be helpful, especially a poorer people like us, right from the beginning. And when we try to give special attention from the primary school or pre-primary school, the kind of attention which the NEP seeks, whether every family will be able to provide their children. At aduna ay nakan ba this NEP is not going to give us a good job opportunity or giving us a better life. We are going to struggle a lot if this is going to. Then I get observation the sumain haining.
Thank you so much, ma'am.